Hey Tinkers, my name's Natalia, and last week I asked you what you wanted to see next, and you voted another Pokemon DIY. So today I'm going to show you a reversible Pokemon DIY, and I was actually inspired by Maqaroon to create this DIY. Now decide what I should be making for next week by voting in the card above, and subscribe and hit the bell button below if you want to see some of this kind of content. So let's just begin. Here's what you need to create this cute little plushie. To everything ready, Tinkerific! Let's begin! Now take a sock and then turn it inside out. Then take a half-filled water bottle and then place it right into the sock. This is to stretch out the sock and to prevent it from sticking to itself. I used the stuffing from an old pillow of mine to create this plushie, but it's up to you if you want to recycle or buy new stuffing. Rip the stuffing into small manageable pieces so it's easier for you to glue it onto the sock. Add a drop of glue onto the sock, then add the stuffing right onto it, and you can even glue the stuffing to each other to create a more stable structure. Now continue this process of gluing stuffing onto the sock, but be extra careful not to burn your fingers. And try not to add too much glue because you will be able to feel it through the sock. Now when you're done gluing all the stuffing onto the sock, it should look like cotton candy or a little cloud. A great indicator for when to stop gluing is the heel of the sock, so it doesn't become too big. Pull the sock off the water bottle, then take another sock without flipping it inside out, and then pull this over the stuffing. This might be a little bit tricky to do at first, but thankfully the sock is very stretchy, so just do this in small steps. Gently massage it a bit so the stuffing is even. Now we need to cut the excess parts of the socks off, so start with the outer one and then cut that off. And then cut off the excess parts of the inner one. Now thread your needle and then start sewing the edges of the socks together. Make a knot in the end and then cut the excess off. And now the basics of the flipping plush is done. Now we only need to decorate them on each side, and one side has to be a Pokeball. So take a red sock and then cut the toe section off. Then put it on top of the plushie, and if it's too long, just cut some of it off. Now thread your needle and then start sewing the red piece onto the plushie. And try to only make stitches on the surface so don't go too deep and accidentally sewing the two sides together. Then make a knot and then cut the rest off. Now we need to add a black bar around the Pokeball. So take some black wool and then start felting it into this bar. If you don't have this type of wool or felting equipment, you can just use other fabrics or just a black sock really. Cut a piece of it off, then attach it onto the plushie. Now if you're felting, keep doing it until you reach the correct size and length. And then move on to create the black and white circle in the middle of the Pokeball. When both of these pieces are created, thread your needle and then start sewing both of them on to the plushie. And then the Pokeball side is done! Now flip it because we need to work on the other side. If you want to make Piplup, cut off the toe section of a blue sock and then add it on top of the plushie. And then try to sculpt it after its hoodie. Then cut another piece of the sock off and then cut it open lengthwise. And this is of course for the back of the hoodie. Now we need to create the cute white mask on Piplup. So take a white sock and then cut out a light bulb shape into the side of the sock. And make sure that the edges are attached so you get this mask here. The next thing to do is to create all of the details of Piplup. So use felt to create the eyes, the mouth, the buttons, and feet. Now when you have all of the details ready, sew the hoodie on first. And don't forget the back of the hoodie as well, but only sew the sides onto the plushie, leave the bottom open. When that's done, sew the mask onto the blue parts of the plushie. And be aware of the mask kind of resting on top of this bow tie-ish look of the hoodie. So keep sewing the mask into place and keep the stitches close to each other so the edges are neat and the minimal amount of fluff will fall out. When that's done, the next step is to sew the details onto the plushie, like the feet. Sew the feet close to the edge and be aware of them not entering the other side of the plushie. Then sew the buttons on right underneath the bow tie of the hoodie. Then sew the mouth on, right in the gap between the eyes. And speaking of eyes, attach them on each side of the mask. And don't forget to make knots on each detail that you add. And that's it, your reversible Pokemon plushie is done! Now make your favorite Pokemon and do a face reveal.
It's Piplup!
I hope you enjoyed watching, leave a like if you did, and be sure to check out these DIYs here to get some more inspiration. And if you want to see the upcoming videos in this channel, you need to subscribe and be part of a lovely Tinker family here at Natalia's Toolbox. So subscribe, and I'll see you soon with more ideas. Bye!